Welcome, Black Hollywood Live fans. On today's Fit Club, we talk about what kidney stones and the flu have in common. Can you give your partner a fitness tracker for Valentine's Day? And can you be fit and fat at the same time? Stay tuned for more.
You're tuned into Black Hollywood Live, Fit Club.
Welcome, Fit Clubbers. It's a beautiful Valentine's Day here. How you doing? How you doing,
I'm
Mr.
not sure.
Ned?
I think I should just start taking the music choices because this is. I'm
I
not
thought
really feeling this.
I thought it was Valentine's Day. Ed Sheeran, a little
I
bit
know,
of Beyonce.
but you could like do a little pop.
No,
Baby
but-
Boy, Sean Paul, and Beyonce.
I thought it was a beautiful mood. Anyways, happy Valentine's Day. Hopefully it's putting you guys out there in a good mood. My name is Shaka Smith. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Shaka Strong.
Hey guys, my name is T.K. Trinidad. You can find me on everything at T.K. Trinidad.
Well, what a crazy day we've had today. Obviously, our thoughts and prayers are with those in Parkland right now.
Mm-hmm.
That school shooting was just insane. Just a sad event today. I don't know what it says for. I was telling you, it feels so unsafe now. I didn't ever worry about going to school when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I don't even know. I guess maybe because I cover the news often. When I saw it, it wasn't. It was just. I don't even know how to say it, but it was not as. I wasn't surprised or shocked.
Yeah.
Meaning that obviously I was shocked that it was happened, but it's happened before, and it's just kind of like.
Yeah,
We're dealing with this thing on Valentine's Day. It just kind of
like,
dawned on me too. So apparently the kid. Well, I don't want to get into the whole thing. You can like Google it. But apparently the kid was expelled from school, and he's said on multiple occasions that he had his guns, and he used to tell people that he would bring it to school, all this other stuff. So 17 people passed away. And I think 12 were injured.
And there's so much on both sides about what should be done, but something has to be done. I don't know what the solution is necessarily, but something, because this is becoming a problem.
Well, that's the thing. It's just like both sides are just saying the same thing every time the shooting happens. So whatever side you're on, still there needs, like you're saying, something has to be done,
and maybe just electing all new people together to just come up with practical solutions. But I guess on to our stories. So what do kidney stones and the flu have in common? Not much, but they are both on the rise.
Like what? I was like, what do they have in common?
Not much, but they are both on the rise. So apparently kidney stones in particular are on the rise. Women 18 to 39 have the highest increase, and they did a study between 1984 and 2012, 10,000 Minnesotans, and they tracked their increase of kidney stones. And it looks like calcium oxalate is something that can build up in your system and is responsible for the majority of them, so it's really important to stay hydrated and to reduce our sodium. One thing to note is they're not really sure how this might play out in different ethnicities, because they basically found there's a higher amount of kidney stones in white folks, and this study, and as a result, a lot of the studies, I guess, only look at that population. So this study had about 90%, it looked at Caucasians, 90%. Right. And so we don't really know what exactly is happening in the African American community or Latin communities or Native American communities. Right. Have you had any personal experience or know of people that are dealing with this?
I haven't, but I think the one thing that stuck out to me in this article was that, water is a huge prevention.
Yeah.
And we have so many, if you look at, the options of beverages that we had 10 years ago, 15 years or 20 years ago compared to now, with people don't want to drink water, so you can add this to the water, and you have your Gatorades, and you have all this other stuff, and people are not just drinking water.
Yeah.
So I think no matter what ethnicity you are, like that's just the key, and it's so basic.
Good prevention, yeah.
So it's just kind of like I don't think people understand how the benefits of that water can do, and we all, including myself, like when I'm on my it's in my psyche, I drink enough water that I need, but when it's not, I might finish, like I carry a water bottle with me everywhere. I might finish the water bottle that one, or I might not even finish it in the day.
And you might reach for food thinking you're hungry when you're really dehydrated.
Yeah. And there's keys to how you know you're dehydrated that your body tells you. Yeah. But again, if you're not in tune with your body, then you can't even tell those signs.
Yeah.
So like I know it's like, okay, yeah, it's time for me to start drinking more water. So I think that was like the definite key of it, that I don't think we do a lot of preventative things health-wise. Like there's so many natural things that we can do that we don't have to deal with, but instead we're, adding all these things to, lose weight, get skinny, do this, do that. And it's not, drinking water is
Yeah.
So basic.
Yeah, and the recommendation is for kidney stones is 2 to 3 quarts of water a day, and normally about 3 quarts of water a day will help you if you have a kidney
Small.
stone 3 millimeters or less will help you release that.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely a lot we can do. I was a little concerned that there hasn't been too much study in different ethnicity, different populations, because we're not paid attention to a lot in these medical studies. So a lot
Right.
of times that also comes down into treatment and prevention, and we're not getting those messages
Yeah.
because these studies aren't necessarily aimed at minority communities.
Yeah.
But it's still something to do now that we are aware of it.
Right.
That everyone should do regardless.
I would think if they do studies like that, it would be people would start doing the studies if they notice it in certain communities. Like I think it might not have been as prevalent because no matter what, this is something that it's not something that you can hide and not report.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you need medical attention.
But we do know that minorities tend to go to doctors less often.
Right, but when they do and they find out it is a kidney stone, like that's still in the reports.
Yeah, I think it's likely that minorities would be less likely to go to a doctor over a kidney stone than others. And so I think it's possible we're underreporting.
So then
which
how
we
do you,
know
if you have a bigger size kidney stone, then
you have so many people, whether it's socioeconomic or just due to ethnicity and like cultural fear,
Right.
That don't go to the doctor regardless because they might think they might not have enough money to pay for the doctor,
Right.
or maybe they have legal trouble that if they go to the doctor they think they'll be alerted to that.
Yeah, but
or there might be a cultural fear of I don't trust doctors, they kill people, so I'll deal with this pain on my own.
So I wonder if you don't go to the doctor, what are the ramifications? 'Cause I'm assuming that if you don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
pain.
know. I don't know what the end result if you get a kidney stone that's left untreated. I know it's severe pain.
Right.
I know a lot of people get addicted to opiates as a result of trying to
just to
sometimes
take some
deal with
painkiller.
kidney pain.
Okay.
So you could end up going down this line. So that hopefully we're breaking down some of those like barriers of not going to the doctor. You get treated, and you regardless of your socioeconomic status. Certainly, the doctors aren't sharing information with the police if you have issues of that nature. So, and the cultural fear I think is also big, as people are afraid of doctors. So.
Yeah, it's I'm scared of it, and I've been to a doctor every year of my life, but in this climate, it's very the fear for me is just the cost.
Exactly.
And I have health care.
Yeah. You're still afraid, like, well, this is not going to be covered. My deductible is going to be this.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy. One thing that I have to get out there as far as the healthcare system that annoys me, and this is why I'm saying to anybody who does decide to go to a doctor, don't sign all the paperwork. Yeah. Read the paperwork, because a lot of those sheets, one sheet in particular says that you're signing off to any additional charges that they charge. Yeah. And that's in the paperwork, folks. So if you do go to a doctor, just make sure, because I went to the doctor, and this is, my doctor I go every year now, and I refused. I was like, I'm not signing the paperwork.
Yeah.
You guys tell me what I need to get done, and then I'll authorize it. But I'm not signing in addition to. That's not happening. And you're obligated to do that. So just be aware. Just read that, because I got like 20 pages of paper when I was starting a new doctor.
And it's so problematic because it's usually at a time where you're kind of like desperate. Like if you're in a doctor's office, you're probably desperate in some shape, way, or fashion.
So just read that paperwork, folks.
Absolutely. And same thing with the flu. Flu is on the rise, but this is a little bit more bigger of a problem because people are dying because of the flu. It looks like it's up to about 60 out of 100,000 people are suffering from the flu, which is one of the highest levels we've ever had on record. 34 million got sick with the flu before, and we're on track to beat that. That was the previous record. So right now they're running out of tests even to test people for the flu, and so they're recommending to doctors only to really test people that have an underlying condition that the flu would exacerbate and make worse. So certainly if you think you have the flu, you want to pay close attention to your symptoms and your signs and start getting treated right away. What do you think about the vaccinations?
I don't know.
They're still recommending. We're kind of later in the flu season, begins in October, but they're still saying it's beneficial to get one. Have you gotten one?
No, I haven't gotten a vaccination in I don't even know how many years. I'm under, and again, I just don't know, but I know what my gut tells me, and
this might be the cultural thing we were talking about.
Well, no, because I go to the doctor all the time, meaning that I go for prevention. So I do a yearly.
Well, vaccines are preventative.
To a certain extent, but for me, the flu vaccine you can go and get at CVS.
Yeah.
So I've always opted out of the flu vaccine. I just there's not enough.
Cultural fear.
It's not
or
cultural fear. It's
an
just more like
idea?
for how everybody say. I even got into this habit too. You know how everybody uses the stuff to clean your hands, the
Hand
bacteria,
sanitizer,
hand sanitizer and stuff like that. We didn't have that.
Yeah.
Like years ago, and people weren't dropping dead. And it almost, and even with the kids today, like I see my friends with their kids and they're always wiping them down and all this other stuff. Like I remember I was playing the sandbox and I'd come home and there'd be sand, like I was just filthy.
Yeah.
Right. And obviously I wanted to take a bath, but it was just kind of like, it just seems like we're almost over sanitizing. And then for certain instances where it's like the flu vaccine, like it feels like ever since it started that we've it's helping to fight another strain.
Yeah.
But did those strains occur because of the original flu vaccine? Because now it's kind of trying to create another way against that. Like, and of course it sounds, like, out of this world,
Well,
but I'm
no,
just
I mean-
kind of, it just, because I know a lot of people who haven't done the flu vaccine.
Well, I've never done it, but I was considering doing it as I was reading this article.
Right.
And then I found out, so basically the dominant strain this season is the H3N2 strain.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently this vaccine that they do have is not as effective against that strain. That's number one. And the strain that is effective against the flu virus B, apparently it's only about 55% effective. So while you're increasing it, it's not like foolproof. So you can
Right.
actually get this vaccine and still get the flu.
Right.
And so that to me kind of was like, well,
Yeah,
I'll gamble a little bit more now. That's not like completely gonna alleviate any possibility.
Well, yeah, this is where it plays into being healthy and knowing your body. Like
Yeah.
if you do, and of course freak accidents happen and things happen, but people that I know who are healthy in the healthy way, meaning that they're not doing extreme diets, they're living their life, they're working out, or they're just living a healthy life. They're not smoking every day, all this other stuff. As far as I know, they don't get the flus. They don't get that stuff. They might get, later on in life, they might get the extreme, like, the cancers and stuff like that. But some of that stuff, it doesn't really matter if you're healthy or not.
Yeah, and if you do get the flu, if you're generally healthy, your body's gonna fight it off. So it's really people that do have to be extra careful of those with underlying conditions. Like
Right.
the flu could exacerbate pneumonia and that stuff. But certainly, I think it's worth looking into if you're concerned to get a vaccine. It is a little bit more protective, but I haven't gotten one, so.
I don't know, because it's just, and you can almost say it's, depending on where you work, but if you go to the gym, that's a cesspool of, germs. Like pretty much anywhere, the money that you handle, like all that stuff is there. But again, if you go to the gym on a regular basis and you're around all this dirt and this grime and these germs, then your body's almost building up a tolerance.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I think it's safer to get the flu vaccine. I just personally think it's not safer for me.
This is, we're both not doctors in any short way, shape, or form. But yeah, I haven't gotten in years, and I know a lot of athletes and a lot of fitness people, and they.
Yeah, I think if I see people that I believe are healthy and their immune systems are strong start to like get super ill or drop dead or anything, then I'm like, okay, now it's time for the vaccine.
Yeah.
Nothing's working, so.
Yeah, but yeah, even when people are like coughing and stuff like that, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, so what's going on here? But again, there's germs and everything around us, and it's almost like you should let it be around in order for your body to kind of grow that. That strength to fight it.
Yeah, to a degree, I think our awareness has made us extra paranoid because before you couldn't necessarily see bacteria under a microscope, but now you can see it. It's in the commercial, and you get to know that it's on your kitchen counter. So I think that kind of makes us very hypersensitive to all of it. But another interesting topic I thought was interesting. Well, of course that was interesting. Was whether or not you can be fit and fat at the same time. I've seen people that have been overweight and very fit, but I didn't necessarily know if it corresponded to the markers of fitness. Talking about cholesterol, triglycerides, and they have found out of a study out of York University that the benefits of exercise can actually outweigh the health effects of obesity. And obesity being defined by a BMI greater than 40. And they found that when they measured triglycerides and different metrics of health for people that were obese yet they were fit, that they didn't fall into the ranges for the danger of high blood pressure, stroke, or having high triglycerides.
Right. Yeah, the whole BMI thing is, especially if you work out on a regular basis, you could be on the opposite side, the opposite scale of the BMI, and you're still very fit.
Yeah.
And I have a friend, what up, Jorge? I have a friend. He if you look at him, he's chunky,
Yeah.
right? But he does CrossFit 5 days a week.
Yeah.
He eats fairly healthy, but he's all his and he actually goes to the doctor on a regular basis.
Yeah.
All his tests are fine.
Yeah.
So I mean, then you also get into the other side where it's somebody who's feels that they're skinny or they're not underweight, they're skinny, they feel like they're average, and they don't go to the doctor because they feel like if there was an issue with me, I'd see it physically, and they might have the high cholesterol and stuff like that. So I mean, I guess it just really kind of the deciding factor is how much do you work out, how much what type of eating you're doing, and if you know in your heart of hearts that you haven't worked out in 6 months and you eat out, but eat out more Taco Tuesday and Wendy's and stuff like that, then in your heart of hearts, you're really not, big bones.
Yeah.
You're really overweight.
And I think this is actually encouraging because I know a lot of people 2, 3, 4 months in will be working out but not see the results they want physically, but at least now you know that internally you're getting the good results.
Right.
And so I think it was actually a really good study. So people, if you're not seeing results that you like in the mirror, it doesn't mean you're not actually doing something that's really positive for your body.
But I think no matter what you do, you're going to see results in the mirror. It just depends on, you almost have to, if you're really serious about it, you almost have to look at different testing tools.
Yeah.
So of course you could take your BMI, you can use the scale, you can do a measuring tape, you can do pictures, and the scale might not move, but the measuring tape might move.
Yeah.
It's just kind of you have to, and again, you need a professional to do all of that stuff. But for myself, I have a measuring tape, I weigh myself. I mean, I check my BMI every, I think 6 weeks or stuff like that. So I have different elements, but again, I'm pissed off at myself this morning, the scale hasn't moved, but my pants are looser.
Yeah, and then you look at another metric and you go, okay, well, the scale didn't move, but that's because the muscle weighs more.
And then, then you can look into changing up your program or whatever. But again, it's just, if you're serious about it or if you're questioning it, then you have to take different types of, tests that really don't, the measuring tape costs 99 cents.
Yeah.
It's not that serious.
And I do tell people sometimes we don't notice the physical changes in our body, so I say take a picture every day in the mirror. Just for you. You're not going to show it to anybody, so don't worry what it looks like. And then you will actually, when you look back at the 5 or 6 days you've been working out and dieting, you'll see the changes when you look at the picture, but you may not see it because we have our own minds about the way we look. So, but it is good to know that you are getting healthy regardless of the aesthetic changes you may see. And I love this one about how to give your partner a fitness tracker. Or, Valentine's Day is a great way to say, hey, look, I want to get you in shape. I love you. Let's do this. Or even just
Terrible
your friends.
idea.
How do you? Because I have friends that I'm always trying to get fit, and so I have my little tip, my little ways of
Terrible
getting in
idea.
there. Well, they thought number one was to say, let's do this together. Make it an us thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think the script was, hey babe, what was it? I got this fitness tracker so we can both get in shape. I remember you liked that hike our last vacation, so we can go hiking every weekend. I found some new trails, and here's this
Terrible
beautiful.
idea.
Bad idea.
Terrible idea.
He's still getting slapped.
I feel like no matter who you are, for instance, if you go to the gym, right, and you're checking out different gyms and stuff like that, somebody who their intention was already to get a gym membership, you don't need to sell them on anything. Yeah. And of course, if somebody's a good salesperson, they might sell them into the membership, but that person might not commit. Right, so I feel like somebody who, if your partner wants to work out, or if you notice, so say if you notice your partner, gaining weight, right? Maybe the best thing for you, and say you haven't gained weight, you've stayed the same. Maybe the best thing for you to do is to,
leave, walk away.
Actually, go and work out and do your stuff, and then almost kind of encourage, but not. You have to kind of know your partner, because if you tell me, oh well, we went hiking last week. I bought you this fit tracker or fat tracker so we can go hiking every weekend. I was like, wait, I didn't agree to go hiking every weekend. Why are you one buying me one at Valentine's Day, and then two, now you're saying we're hiking every weekend is something that we didn't even discuss or agree to? Yeah, you're not getting anything for Valentine's Day.
So completely
Seriously.
backfired.
Yeah, it's not a good thing. And again, you have to know your partner.
Yeah.
I was in a situation like that where I was in a relationship and I gained weight, and how he brought it up to me was terrible and actually backfired because it was just well, I'm already not in this good place as it is, then what's the point now?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then when I was finally ready to commit to doing something on a daily basis, which I do, and I've been there before, and I've been on the ups and downs and stuff like that, I was ready.
Yeah.
And there's certain things that no matter how, like, even if you're encouraging somebody to find a job, like, I mean, I have a friend who's been out of work for almost 2 years. Well, acquaintance, not a friend.
Oh.
But you know, 2 years, and it's like no matter what you say, you know, you want the best for that person, but no matter what you say, it's not going to get them off the couch.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like you live your life. And, you know, something might inspire them. You might, instead of going to a hike, you might take them to, you know, athletic event.
Yeah.
Instead of going to that, you might take them to, you know, you go to different things, and something in that might inspire them.
Yeah.
So, you know, that to me, maybe in another relationship it might work, but I don't know too many women that would work with.
And I think it become especially hard if like maybe both people start overweight and then one person gets that desire and that kick and motivation before the next person does.
Yeah.
So I think it could be difficult, but you know they say make it a together thing. A lot of studies have shown that couples that do undertake the goals together have more success at losing the weight.
Right.
If both are of the same mind about it.
And then you could you know look at stuff like, you know, food wise, not necessarily changing completely, but you know, you don't go from buying cakes every birthday and now you're buying a cupcake. Like that's obviously, but buying a huge cake to buying a medium cake, that's very subtle.
Small changes.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then if you don't order dessert and, you know, say that person's overweight and you don't order dessert and they're asking you why, it's like, I just don't feel like dessert. Then, and you do that a couple of times,
sort of the norm.
that might become a thing. Or you just, instead of drinking wine and stuff, you just drink water when you guys go out to eat. So, you know, all these little things that somebody sees you doing it and making the effort, then it might encourage them.
Yeah, and the second recommendation was to like get them a smartwatch. So it's like, oh, text messaging and your internet, and then of course the fitness app is on there. Just, you know, use it your own discretion.
You can get a fitness app on your phone.
Yeah.
If they want a fitness app, they can do it.
No, but sometimes you want it like, you know, no matter where you go, it's right here. I want to know how many steps you walk today.
You know, it seems like a very personal thing unless the person asks for it. So, like, I'm in the market for a fitness watch, not a smartwatch. I don't want a smartwatch. I don't want anybody. I don't want to see text message. I don't want to see any of that. So, I mean, I've been actually actively researching for a smartwatch. Like, I just want a watch that stops and starts, tells me how many steps, tells me like the whole, like, you know, the whole fitness stuff. But I don't want the phone app to it. I don't want any of that. So I've been in the market for that. So now we're having a discussion, and then he decides to buy me that. Then I'm like, all right, well, you know, that's what I was looking for. This is exactly what I want. Great. But I made no discussion about it, and I've been wearing my nice, you know, whatever watch, and now you bring me a fitness watch.
But no, but if it's a smart watch, I think it's better because then at least they don't know that's why you brought it. I mean, they might have an idea depending on your person.
Yeah, but again, if you feel like they're obviously you love the person, you want the best for them, but if you feel like they're out of shape or they're whatever, then you know and again, it just depends on your dynamic.
Yeah.
Like I go home every time I go home to Toronto, I have an aunt who's overweight, by the way, who tells me consistently that you've gained some weight, and I'm like.
This is not working.
Yeah, but again, she's my aunt.
Yeah.
And I know she's been doing this like forever.
Yeah.
And you know, it is what it is, but it's like my aunt. And then I go back to LA and I don't have to, you know, deal with it. So, you know, it just depends on the dynamics of your relationship. If you on previous occasions just brought up something randomly by surprise and they're okay with it, then cool. But if you know, have never broached that topic before, I don't think Valentine's Day is the day to do that.
Probably not.
Just saying.
I did like the recommendation. I'm personally in favor of like dates before you're like committed that indicate interest in certain things. Like, oh, let's go to the gym for a date. Let's have a hiking date, or let's have a beach date, or you know.
And those can backfire. I went on a date with hiking. I actually went to the Culver City Stairs, and I love going to the Culver City Stairs. But I also, in a lot of instances, like working out by myself. Yeah. So I'm going to the Culver City Stairs, and I know my psyche. Like I know when I want to push myself. I know when I'm just coasting. At least I'm here. Yeah. And that day is like we're here. You know, we're doing it. I normally walk slow, whatever. And he's trying to like pep rally coach me. And I'm like, dude, it's unnecessary. I was a professional athlete. Like, I'm retired now. It's not that serious.
But it's good to get that out of the way so you know.
Oh, yeah. There was not another date after that. Yeah. So I was over it.
Because that could have been a month in, and then you already kind of like the guy. You're like, oh, man, this just ruined it all.
Like, and then I told him, too. It's like, that was unnecessary. I don't need extra coaching. Like, when I'm ready,
we're good.
Do that. Thanks. We're here already.
Well, maybe you guys should have gone on a plogging date. Yeah. Do you know much about plogging?
I read up on it.
I mean, I love it. You know, I'm big into the environment. Mm-hmm. I just actually did a beach cleanup.
I know. I liked your
weekend.
picture. Like I said, I would.
Thank you for the
No,
support.
no problem. Support any way I can.
Yeah, we had a beach cleanup, Project Save Our Surf, and we just cleaned up some stuff on the beach. And then I come to find out in Sweden they've made a sport of this. So plogging is you go on these runs, these jogs, and as you do it, you pick up some plastic bottles and you pick up trash. So you go with your run, your bag bin. And you also maybe incorporate some squats and some different things along the way. So I think it's a great way to be environmentally fit and also physically fit. But you seem skeptical.
Not skeptical. I mean, obviously, I'm definitely about recycling and stuff like that. But there's just a couple things for me. One, running for me is already difficult in itself. So, like, I'm playing my soca music. It's really, really loud. I'm running to the beat. If I stop, it's a problem. So I try to not stop at all.
But now, wouldn't picking up trash make you motivated to stop? You say, oh my God.
No, because then for me, picking up trash, and then this is, again, now I'm thinking I have like minor OCD. This is for me, you're picking up trash, somebody else has touched it, you don't know where it's been on the ground for how many days. You're picking it up with, like, you have to have like gloves.
You can have silicone gloves.
Right, but then there's something might be in it, you don't know, like it might have that little smell, like, when you drink a can of whatever, and you think you finish it, and then there's that little minus drop, and like, you didn't know, you put it in your bag, now it's drip, like, it's a lot of, for me, it's just a lot of germs, and then that's gonna just turn me off from actually the run. Like, I don't mind almost doing like a 5K walk where we go through the park and we're doing this. Like, then you do it with a group of people, then you're all on one accord. But to run, to me, because running for me is difficult. Yeah. It's just not gonna happen. But if running to you is easy, because I know people who run, like, I see them they pass me all the time on blah blah. They look so comfortable. They look like they're on the cat. Like, those type of people enjoy. Their running form looks awesome. Or even the ones who have terrible running form. They look like they're just running on water. They look so peaceful, while I feel like every part of my body is just fighting against me and saying, Trick, this is not a good idea. So to the folks who do run and it's easy for them, definitely.
So if you're running coasty along, you may want to stop, 5 squats, pick up a bottle. I think it's a good idea. But obviously consult your doctor before you plog.
And use gloves too. You just honestly, obviously if it's in not so good areas, obviously that. But even if it's a nice area, you just never know. Especially in LA. Yeah. I mean, there's homeless people that are literally on the streets of Beverly Hills. Yeah. They live in Beverly Hills.
So
just like you just never know. So.
But I do love this idea behind fitness and activism. Apparently, they have Good Gym in the UK where people are encouraged, or they run, and they have a meeting or tea with an elderly person, and they run back home.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
So Good Gym facilitates that.
Yeah.
Guide Runners facilitates runners that will help the blind.
Oh, nice.
So they kind of like attach to the blind person, but it's going to be for a workout. So
nice.
Run together. And then there's one for the homeless where they do biking for the homeless. And so you volunteer your time, they give you a bike, and you deliver food and clothing to the homeless.
Nice. Yeah, so, I know some places have like something called Sweat Angels where you every check-in, the group donates money to a certain organization. So there's the CrossFit community is big in that. Yeah. And there's, I think, Orange Theory Fitness also does stuff like that. So there's certain gyms that are kind of known for that.
I love. I used to do like fitness bar crawls where we'd run to different bars and then do like a fitness activity, whether it's 20 push-ups or squats, and then go to another bar. So I love that you can actually do this and actually be environmentally friendly too.
That just sounds terrible too. Actually, I was watching this interview with George Clooney. David Letterman was interviewing George Clooney on his Netflix show, and he was talking about like it's a really amazing interview. So if you just check it out, but he was talking about how he got into those causes, like he's helping people in Syria and Rwanda and stuff like that. And it's like it's almost a selfish reason because you do it selfishly because you want to almost make yourself feel good. Obviously, it's helping the person, but you do that and just kind of acknowledge that. And then even if you feel like you don't have the time or the money or whatever, there's different ways to help people. Yeah. And it's worst case scenarios, it's tax write-off. So
and that's what I tell people. I mean, if you've never really volunteered before, the first time is a sacrifice. After that, it's a selfish thing. Yeah. Because you realize you feel way better after for yourself than before. So hopefully people take that and. We get some good volunteerism and good fitness going together. Well, I think we're done for today. But we have believe it's John Tay from the Simone Biles story from Lifetime. Who's going to be John Tay Godlock is going to be here with us next week.
Nice.
She's a gymnast. Simone Biles' story aired February 3rd on Lifetime, and she'll be with us to talk about that role and how she incorporates fitness into her life today.
Sounds good.
So, guys, please tune in next week. It should be a good one. If you guys are on iTunes, give us 5 stars. On YouTube, we want to hear your comments. Hopefully get some thumbs up. Again, my name is Shaka Smith. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat, Shaka Strong.
So you can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. Speaking of running and charity, I am running the marathon or training for the marathon in order to raise money for water pumps in Africa. So if you want to donate, you can go under my bylines for all my social media at TK Trinidad, Twitter, Facebook, IG, all that stuff, and you can donate.
And
there.
you'll be plogging through that marathon, correct?
Negative. Not at all.
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Happy Valentine's Day.
From executives Keven Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
Hollywood redefined.
Views expressed here are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL